Okay, so the first thing you want to do is get a lined piece of paper and something to write with, and then you want to put the paper up to your forehead, and you want to put it above your eyebrows, that way you can see what you're doing. And then you want to make a couple of lines where your eyebrows end on the paper, just like that. Okay, so next, once you have your lines drawn on your piece of paper, you want to pull up your face chart, and you want to put your paper up to the face chart, and you want to zoom in down on the corner here. I don't know if you can see the mouse, but you want to zoom in so that the face chart in the background lines up with the edge of your face chart. So you want it to line up right here. This is where you made your mark for the hairline, and then what I did on this one is I've just folded the piece of paper in half, and it came up to this line, but that didn't work for the face chart, so I just went all the way to the edge. So then you just want to go ahead and outline everything, and you want to make sure that you're outlining where the solid line is. Don't go out to where the shaded part is. So you're just going to outline the entire thing. And then for this face chart, what you want to do is cut it down the middle, and then of course cut out these edges here. Okay. And then once you have your template cut out, what you want to do for this particular mask is you want to cut it into 4 pieces. So you want to cut it in half. So cut it right down the middle like this, and then you want to cut it again the lengthwise. And you want to cut it the lengthwise so that we can fit it right underneath your eye and draw your stencil on there. Alright, so once you have your pieces cut, you're just going to put it up to your forehead and then outline it. And what I used today was a white liquid liner by Prestige, and this is in the color Popstar. Okay. Okay, so I actually forgot to mention that I did take some glue and flatten down my eyebrows, and then I did put eyeshadow primer all over the lid, and then I took NYX's Jumbo Pencil in Milk, and I just have that here on the lower portion of the lid. Next I'm taking Celestial Silver by Revlon, and I'm placing it over the white. Okay, next I am taking LALA by MAC. And I'm just going to put that in the crease. Alright, and now I'm going in with the Wet n Wild palette, which is Lust. And I'm going to be taking a mixture of this color and the color right underneath it. And it's just going to be going into the outer V. Okay. The next thing you want to do is you're going to start doing the outline here. Before you do that, you want to go ahead and do your foundation. So I've already done that. And now I'm going in with NYX's Jumbo Pencil in Cherry and a flat concealer brush. And I'm just going to go around the edges here. You don't want to make the line very thick. Okay, so now I did the edge on the top, and also you don't need to worry if you didn't do a good job when you traced your stencil, because you're going to end up cleaning it up anyway. So just take off the excess off of your brush, just clean it off, and then just drag the edge just a little tiny bit, just so that the line isn't so harsh. Next I'm going to go in with this tiny crease brush, and I'm going to go in with LALA again, which is the light pink, and I'm just going to place that on top of the jumbo pencil. So I'm just going to go along, and you want to try to overlap it just a little tiny bit onto the white. Alright, so I'm going to do that. Okay, so once you have all of that color down here, what you want to do is you want to clean the tip of the brush. Make sure that you get everything off of it. And then go back in and then just start to do little swirly motions on the edge. And then just blend it outwards. Alright, now I'm going to be taking NYX's Jumbo Pencil in Milk and this flat concealer brush. And this is why I said you don't need to worry if you didn't do your stencil, if you didn't do a good job at your stencil, because you're going to actually go and clean up this line here. So this entire area is going to be filled with white, but just want to start with your with the edges of the mask first. Alright, so I'm going to fill the entire edge. Actually, I'm not going to do the bottom part yet. Excuse me. I'm just going to be doing the top part. And then I'll show you what to do from there. Okay, so once you have the top portion filled in with the white, I've already put glue to flatten down my eyebrows. But my eyebrows are pretty dark, so I'm not going to use the Milk Jumbo Pencil. If your eyebrows are not that dark, then go ahead and use that. But instead I'm going to be taking the white cream makeup. I'm using the same brush. And I'm just going to coat my eyebrows with that and do several layers to get them as concealed as I can. So now that I covered my eyebrows with the cream makeup, I'm going to go back with the Jumbo Pencil and cover this part right here with the Jumbo Pencil. But right here I'm just going to use a really light hand. As you can see, it's not as opaque as the rest of the white area. And then you want to do it so that it meets up with the eyeshadow that you laid down earlier. I put just a little bit more of the cream makeup. Alright, next I'm going in with this brush here. And it's a crease brush, and I'm going in with Jesse's Girl in, I think it's Starshine, yeah, Starshine. I'm going to start with the eyebrows first, and just pressing the color down on it. come down underneath the eyebrow. Alright, and then the rest of the area that's already filled in with white, I'm going to fill in that with this, and I'll be right back. Okay, so now that I have all of that filled in with the white eyeshadow, I'm just going to take my liquid liner and just define the parts that are a little bit pointy. Alright, just like that. That was right on my hairline, so that's probably not going to look so good. It's better if you start in and then go out to where the point is, because then it helps to thin out the line a little bit more. Alright, so next I'm going to do my foundation on the lower portion of my face, and I'll be right back. Okay. So now I have my foundation on the lower half of my face, so if you normally contour your cheekbones, this is when you'll want to do it at this step. So I've already done that. Next I'm going back in with LALA and a blush brush. I'm just going to place that down where I would normally have my blush. Obviously most of this is not going to be showing. But that's okay. Alright, and now I'm going back in with the concealer brush and with the NYX Jumbo Pencil in Cherry again. And now I'm going to go through and outline the bottom portion. Okay, so once you have the bottom part outlined with the red, you're just going to do the same thing and then just start pulling the color out so that it blends, so that's not such a harsh line, and you blend it in a little bit more with the foundation. And next I'm going back in with the tiny brush, and I'm going to go in with the Wet n Wild Lust palette, and I'm going to go in with this color here. When you put this color on top of the red, it looks more like Sketch, which is the real color that was used. So I'm just going to go ahead and do all of this, and I'll be right back. Okay, so with the little blending brush, I just went in and then blurred out the edges, like I did on the top. Next, I'm taking a black liquid liner, and I'm just going to be doing a thin line on the top of the lash line. Alright, next I'm going back in with the Milk Jumbo Pencil and Milk. What did I say? The NYX Jumbo Pencil and Milk. And the concealer brush. And I'm just going to do the same thing that I did up on the top. I'm just adding the white on the inside, and then this helps clean up your lines if you didn't do such a good job when you drew out your stencil. Alright, so I'm going to do that, and I'm also going to do it right underneath the eye here. So I'm going to do that and I'll be right back. Okay, so I finished applying all of the NYX Jumbo Pencil and Milk all over the rest of the eye. Now I'm taking the Wet n Wild Lust palette again. I'm going to take a mixture of this color and this color. And I'm just going to be placing that on the lower lash line. And I'm going to take that all the way in to the inner tear duct area. Okay, you want to make sure that you do this part before you set the white shadow, just in case you get any fallout that you need to clean up. I guess that's actually okay. So now I'm going to go back with Jesse's Grill in Starshine and the same brush. And I'm just going to set the white Jumbo Pencil with this. When you do it underneath the eyes, it's best if you do it in a sweeping motion there rather than patting it down, because you don't want it to settle too much, or as little as possible in your lines if you have lines underneath your eyes. Okay, and then for the smaller areas, I'm going to take the small crease brush. I'm going to clean that off first. And I'm just going to go in and fill those small areas in with the same eyeshadow. Alright, so here's the finished look on the waterline. I used Rimmel's pencil in white. I curled my lashes and put falsies on, and I have on Red Cherries number 747M for the medium length. I do have a longer length also. And on the entire lip, I have NYX's lip gloss in Beige, which is just like a bubblegum pink. And then on the outline, I have Hard Candy Visibly Wet in the color Jezebel. And what I did is I just outlined the lip and then just brought it in to make it blend with the lighter color. And then in the center I have NYC's Ghostly White, which you can only get right now. And that's just in the center of the lips. And that's it. I hope you liked it.